What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Gameday Wit Trei. This is your host, Trey, and welcome to your New York Giants Offseason Report. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and crank it up. First and foremost, last season was a major jump from the previous season for the New York Giants. In the previous season, the New York Giants finished in 2021 with a record of 4-13. I mean, they had 7 picks in the first 171 picks in the draft, in the 2022 draft, you guys. All right. So the New York Giants were not a team that was looked upon as someone who was a threat over there in the NFC East. Well, oh, how so much can change in 1 year. Okay, because the New York Giants went from 4-13 to a 9-7-1 record last year. All right, you had Daniel Jones throwing for 3,205 yards. You had Saquon Barkley rushing for 1,312 yards. The best receiver they had was Darius Slayton, kind of pedestrian numbers, but still nonetheless 724 yards on the end of the year. Their best defensive player was Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line, giving them 7.5 sacks. And then they got another 5.5 from Ojulari, okay, Azeez Ojulari. Okay, so for all those picks that they invested in the previous year, okay, they saw a great return. Not to mention they went out and got a great head coach with Brian Daboll. All right, Joe Schoen has been doing his thing up there as the GM for the New York Giants since he got there. And I think the whole Brian Daboll system, I mean, look what it did for Josh Allen. Okay, when Josh Allen came out of Wyoming, he was a quarterback that really and truly was not accurate and could not make proper decisions. And somehow, some way, he turned him around. And if your eyes are on football, you notice that last year was Daniel Jones's best year. Now, yeah, it was a contract year for Daniel Jones, and he had a lot at stake. But at the same time, okay, it still was not just a good season statistically for Daniel Jones. He actually went to the playoffs last year. All right, which by him taking the Giants to the playoffs last year, that was the first time that the New York Giants have even been to the playoffs since 2016. All right, so what's going on in New York definitely is exciting. All right, it's something you want to keep your eyes on. And if you just even look at what they did in the draft, okay, first round, they got Deonte Banks, okay, out of Maryland with the 24th pick. Now, I like Deonte Banks because of the fact that he's known as a good corner who can mirror wide receivers. Okay, now anybody who knows playing corner is all about hip rotation and the ability to open up your hips so that you can transition from the back pedal into a fluid running pace with the wide receiver. Okay, and you got to be able to be quick reaction. Now, at the whole time that he was at University of Maryland, he only was able to get 2 interceptions the whole time, right? But you do have a Dory Jackson on the other side, even though I think there was only 2 people on the New York Giants that got interceptions last year, and it was a Dory Jackson and I want to say that safety Love that you got out there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, adding a corner with the ability to mirror a wide receiver, okay, while you still got a Dory Jackson coming back from that injury from the punt return from last year, I think that was a very good pickup, man. You guys really needed to solidify your corners, and I just believe that Deonte Banks can do that. Now, as far as what's been going on with training camp on Deonte Banks, he's started off on day 3 of the OTAs. He was actually still practicing with the second team. But on day 5, he was with the starters. Okay. Now, that's a promising sign. OTAs is over and you're getting ready to go into the transition into the mandatory mini camps before you go to the actual little break or layoff before you get to actual training camp football. Okay. And man, I'm telling you, uh, Deonte Banks is a name you guys want to remember. He will be the starter in New York next year. Now, we go to your second round pick. Second round pick was John Michael Schmitz out of the University of Minnesota. Center. Great pick. Great pick. Okay. We all know what they do out of Minnesota. They produce linemen like no other. Okay. In the Big Ten. And that's what you get. All right. You go get you a lineman from the Big Ten. He's going to be able to block. He's going to be able to pick up blitzes. He's going to understand coverages, and he's going to be a communicator. I got one down here in Tampa right now. Okay. So I like what I see out of any offensive lineman that you get out the Big Ten usually. So I think that was a good pickup for them. It'll be an anchor for that offensive line for years to come. Next, third round pick. Oh, and by the way, yeah, he's already working with the starters too in training camp. So that's another pick that is not a wasted pick. Anytime you see a pick working with the starters or with the ones, that wasn't a wasted pick. All right. I always look at it. I know we're looking early right now. They're still running around in shorts and in helmets occasionally. All right. And I'm doing more walkthrough than actual physical anything. Okay. But at the end of the day, when you see them working with the ones, that means the coach has already seen that this individual has been able to take in what they're trying to give them in the classroom. All right. If you can digest what I can give you in the classroom, then I can get you on the field faster. All right. And we can try to put you in the position to be successful. All right. And that's what I'm seeing is happening. And while we're talking about individuals seeing success, Jalen Hyatt, okay, out of Tennessee, was the third round pick for the New York Giants. All right. Jalen Hyatt was a wide receiver that caught 99% of his passes from 0 to 9 yards. Okay. Not that 99% of his passes were there. He actually caught 99% of those passes. Okay. From 0 to 9 yards. All right. And his yak is off the chain. This boy, when he gets the ball, he's like a rabbit. He's out, and he's not a small or slight dude. Okay, he is about 6 foot, 6'1", I believe. So it's not like he's a little wide receiver like an Eric Metcalf or anything like that, or Edelman or something like that. No, this boy is a player. Okay, and everything I saw out of him from Tennessee last year, I loved. Okay. And everything I'm hearing thus far out of training camp, I love. He's also working with the ones already. And he has impressed the coaching staff. Okay. So please be on the lookout for Jalen Hyatt. Probably go get you a jersey. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones has not had wide receivers yet. The best thing he has is Shepard, and Hodges came out of nowhere last year at the end of the year once things had went to the side, I guess, with Slayton for a while last year. So at the end of the day, an investment in the wide receiver position was a good idea for Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Next, you get to Eric Gray, 5th round, running back out of Oklahoma. Okay. Now, this young man can run, he can block, and he can catch. Okay. So he is multifaceted, good third down running back, probably what he'll end up being in the league. And he might even be able to do your punt return, which is something that is sorely needed right now, considering what happened with Adoree Jackson last year on that punt return where he ended up spraining his knee. You can't coach scared, but at the same time, you can't put your best players when you don't have a lot of them, okay, in those type of positions. So hopefully this offseason, the Giants were able to lock down what's going on that special teams with the punt return. Next, you get to some backups. You get Trey Hawkins out of Old Dominion. You get Jordan Riley, okay, big boy out of Oregon. I liked him. All right, but he's going to bring some more girth, all right, to that defensive line, which is good definitely needed. You can never be mad at depth there. All right. And Javarius Owens out of Houston. Okay. He's a safety, and he also is another depth player. Okay. So this isn't the end for the Giants. The Giants are a team that is on the ascension and will most likely see a double-digit win total this year, especially since they ended up signing Darren Waller, tight end from the Raiders. So there was a trade that occurred in order to acquire him, I believe, earlier this offseason. Can't remember what it was, to be honest with you. But they end up getting him. And now that he is with the New York Giants, he's been spending a lot of time with Daniel Jones. Reports out of New York State that Daniel Jones was really impressed with the fact that when he met Waller, okay, he expected Waller to be smaller, because usually you hear these tight ends, they're like 6'6", they're 250, 260, and they're really not. They're like 6'4" or 6'5", and they're like 235, 240. All right. Well, no. Darren Waller is what was advertised. He's a legit 6'6", 6'7", 270 pounds, and he is a beast of an athlete. Okay. Both have been talking lovely about each other. I mean, Darren Waller says he loves the ball placement, and of course, Daniel Jones is excited to actually have a weapon out there. He said this is the greatest athlete he's ever worked with as far as from the wide receiver position right now. And that says a lot for where this Giants offense can go. Now, if you look in the totality of where the Giants sit right now, still got questions on who's going to be doing that punt return. Will it be Pimpleton, who's actually been back there receiving punts in OTAs? But, I mean, will it be Pimpleton? Will it be Gray? You definitely don't want it to be Adoree Jackson anymore. So there's a lot of questions there. What about with wide receiver? Well, you have some slot wide receivers, but you don't really have any outside wide receivers right now. That can be a problem, but that can be schemed away. Okay. I believe in Brian Daboll, okay, and his offensive system. And I honestly think that with what I've been hearing out of the training camp, with the motions and pre-snap motions and things like that have been happening up there, they're saying that they don't even have a true X. There is no true X receiver right now. So when you're looking at it from the outside looking in, it looks like an amoeba. I mean, they have the ability to take those fast wide receivers, which, once again, let me state this if I haven't stated this before, this is the most speed that they've had up there in New York in a long time when it comes out the wide receiver spot. The most speed they have had in a long time. And not just at the wide receiver, they've also increased the speed on defense as well. Okay, Deonte Banks, not slow. Boy runs a 4.3. Okay, so you're going to see a different kind of ball up there with the New York Giants this year. The NFC East, not playing. Every team is getting better, whether you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you need to check out a report on the Eagles, I did do an offseason report on them the other day. You can check them out on the playlist. And the Dallas Cowboys are always going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Are they a Super Bowl team? No, but they're still going to be somebody who is going to challenge. And Ron Rivera is a good coach. So you never know what's going to happen with the Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Commanders. Okay. Apologies. So at the end of the day, Giants offseason plus the draft, I give them a B. Okay. I believe they did a decent job thus far. They gave themselves an opportunity to grow. I'm not really happy about the whole trying to sign Daniel Jones signing Daniel Jones to the long-term contract instead of Saquon. I think it would have been a better idea to sign Saquon and then franchise tag the quarterback because you've only seen from the quarterback once. I know, Saquon's been hurt, but I do not subscribe to the whole you can replace a running back. You see what team I rep, right? We have the worst running game in the NFL. I've had the worst running game in the NFL for the last 4 years, something like that. So, hopefully we will improve this year. But so I have experience with understanding that a running back is a very special position that you should really appreciate if you got a good one. Okay, because it'll help your offense move and it takes pressure off the quarterback. And you can't just find them on the street. They're not everywhere. Not all of them know how to run. Not all of them know how to block. And not all of them know how to catch. And Saquon can do all of those things. So I probably would have given Saquon the contract and then franchise tagged the quarterback. But, I'm not the GM. And neither are you probably. So I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. We will be coming back with more off-season reports. So please tune in, subscribe, share with your friends. Doesn't matter who you like, who you follow, or what team you got. All right? Because I love the game. Plain and simple. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. Peace.